access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Welcome, agents, to episode 54 of Behind the Scanner. Your hosts for tonight are Daphne from Washington, D.C., Jorge Pedrero from Mexico City, and I'm Kelly Colton from Chicago. Our special guests tonight are James Pyle from California and Tyler from Bermuda. Joining us for the Weekly Truth is Jose Antonio Rey from Operation Essex. And for a look inside the scanner is Fev Games. Welcome to the show. The Q&A tool is enabled for tonight's broadcast. Submit your questions throughout the show and we'll ask as many as time allows. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at bit.ly/BTS_guest. Finally, you can watch past episodes and subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/behindthescanner. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
Hello guys, welcome to episode 54 of Behind the Scanner, and first I want to say happy birthday to one of our biggest follower, Joe Thorough, and well, happy birthday, man.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
How old you are or anything.
So, now get to the show. Tonight, our first guest is from Bermuda. His agent name is Gunnbda. I hope I pronounced that okay. Please welcome Tyler Gunnbda.
Hey guys, it's Gunnbda, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, man.
No,
so sorry.
I've known of his work for quite some time, and actually I think that's how I've been saying it in my head as well. So it's nice to get that clarified here.
And I really forgot to ask you that on before the show, but well, sorry, man.
It's live.
No worries, no worries.
Anyway, Tyler, welcome. We're really glad to have you. And like I was saying, I'm actually kind of familiar with your work, as much as we tried to thwart it many times since. We'll talk about that later. But how long have you actually been playing Ingress?
I've actually been playing Ingress since the very start, where you actually needed a an invite to actually play. Don't know what wrong there, but so 2 years. It'll be 3 when they release the next ones.
Nice, wow. And how did you actually find out about the game?
I found about the game because one of our local agents, who actually used to be in Lighten but switched teams, YMI, told me that her dad had an extra invite, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? I'll give it a try."
And so how did you get your agent name?
My last name's Gunn, G-U-N-N, which is the first part, and BDA is Bermuda's code. So everyone else has NJ for New Jersey, NY for New York. So just chose that one.
Cool.
So, are you originally from Bermuda? If not, how did you and your family wind up there?
No, I was actually born in Mississippi. Father was in the military, got stationed here, and we stayed here ever since.
Interesting. I mean, and I've heard of Bermuda as this very exotic place, but it became very popular Ingress-wise during the first Shard attack, at least when I had first heard about it. Now, were you involved with receiving and sending it off?
If I'm not mistaken, that was Helios, right?
No. Oh gosh.
Or what was the one before that?
Recursion?
I
Recursion.
think it
That's
might
it.
have been back. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Recursion.
Shortly after Cassandra. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were starting out, since we're so secluded from everyone, we didn't really have anything to do or know what to do. And then Ruth and Daniel, it's like, hey, you guys want to be more active? Like, sure, why not? Nothing else really going on. And all of a sudden, we had this shard in our backyard. It's like, now what do we do with it?
Interesting.
That kind of sounds like most everyone who finds a shard in their backyard. What do I do with that? So I want to pause a second. Yeah, I know. I don't want to jinx it at all. So before we keep going here, I want to make a little PSA. If you're watching, you can go ahead and submit questions for both of our guests. If you're watching on YouTube, you click the banner on the video that says "Be part of the conversation," and then from there, you just click the square icon in the upper right and select Q&A. So I have a question. I love to travel, and I've never been to Bermuda. What's the population like? What's the lifestyle like? Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, Bermuda, as locals call it, is their own paradise. About 75,000 people live in a 23 square kilometer island. To give it an estimate, a likeliness, Heathrow Airport in the UK is bigger than Bermuda. Most states are bigger than Bermuda. Most of the people here are laid back. We have a whole bunch of migrant workers that come and work here. There's not much to do. Great place to visit, not so good to stay. Only so many times you can go to the beach, which is our main attraction. Going to the beach every day is just... it gets boring after a while. Unlike everywhere else in the world, you can drive an hour and go to a massive amusement park. We don't have amusement parks.
It's a good point.
So, how do you spend your free time over there? Well, besides Ingress.
Video games mainly. Not very athletic. Don't like running or certain sports. I mean, I used to be a competitive swimmer, but at this point, it's just video games. Keep me out of trouble, and it's my own little corner where I can do what I want and get my mind away from everything that's happened or that is going to happen.
What kind of games do you play, or which games do you play?
I would list them all, but we'd be here for the next half an hour. I range from everything from console to computer to tablet, Game Boys, everything. First-person shooters, zombie games, survival games, just any game. If it looks interesting, I'm going to try it out.
Anything been as, I don't know if you're as addicted as many of the other players, but anything in those consoles that you found as addictive as Ingress?
As addictive as Ingress? On computer, I would probably say would be like League of Legends, but other than that, just Devil May Cry would be the one that I can always go back to. Just fun game, get all your anger out, and basically it.
Okay, got it. And I mean, it's kind of funny though that video games is kind of your big a hobby over there, because I mean, many of us dream of visiting Bermuda, but I'm sure that you probably also dream of traveling to other places. So, where have you been, and where would you like to go?
Unfortunately, most of my traveling was done before Ingress. I've been to places like Toronto, Singapore, Germany, Czech, Alaska, Haiti, Jamaica, the UK. Did a road trip across the United States from east to west coast. The places I want to go are like Japan, Australia, Hawaii. Oh, sorry, Hawaii, as you have to call it. California, Scotland, and Russia will probably be my last one.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe you can do a home trade or something.
Okay, we've got an apartment.
Nice.
That sounds like fun. It'll be like the house swap, like the holiday.
Mm.
Oh, you guys are guys. You don't know about the holiday. Anyway.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
All right, cool. Kudos to you guys. So, you've been involved in quite a few different ops. Can you tell me a little bit about what's the longest link or biggest field that you've ever made?
The longest link was actually just recently. I threw from Bermuda to Turks and Caicos, which was 1,378 kilometers. Unfortunately, the only biggest field I've made is 5,000 mine units, because Bermuda, since it's so small, you field it and you're done. You can't really throw massive fields like you can in the States.
That makes sense.
Have you actually been able to plan an op that may have, or would you be interested in planning an op that could help increase that? Secrets? I don't.
I've wanted to plan ops. Not sure who wants to actually do them, because my ideas, you've got to cross hundreds of portals, and people are like, you can't do that. I'm like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. It's like, no, you can't. It's like, fine.
So, well, you said that your operations are a little bit like hard or maybe a little bit crazy. What is the Ingress community like in Bermuda?
It's a diverse bunch of people. Most of Bermuda's Ingress community are friendly on both sides. We do have a few hardcore Enlightened players who just never stop playing. They'll sleep for an hour and then they'll be out from 6 a.m. one morning to 4 a.m. the next, and it's just like, go to sleep.
Just like Daphne.
Yeah. But the attitude of most of them are really, we all want to get together and like have drinks and do a whole bunch of stuff. But anything else? But the problem with Bermudians is that their lack of motivation to do something. It's like, hey, check out this game. Yeah, it sounds interesting. However, you say, you have to walk. I don't want to play that. I really don't want to play that. It's like, or they start it and it's like, I don't get this game. See ya, and they just stop.
How many people are in the Bermuda community, more or less?
And as a total, I would probably say about 12 or 13 now in total from both sides.
Wow, that's few.
Actually, I wonder if this will... Yeah, about 12.
Well, that's a really tight-knit group.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do get-togethers and everything? I mean, you mentioned drinking together.
We try to. One of the Enlightened agents actually owns a pub, so when we can, we go there. But other than that, a few of the Enlightened just don't want to talk to us. Want nothing to do with us. Like, hey, let's go for a drink. I'm busy. And then you see them out in the other end of the island blowing something up. It's like, yeah, you're not busy. But
so, in addition to learning things about some new, different people in your area, a lot of times you end up learning something new about yourself in Ingress. Is there anything you can share about something that you've learned about yourself through the game?
The biggest thing I've learned is how to function off of 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Because someone wakes up and they're like, hey, let's go do this, let's do it. Fine. Gotta get up, drive all the way there, and come back. Time for work. And then on top of that, time management. Just trying to sneak in the game here and there in between going to different job sites and everything. When you can, you can.
That sounds about right. You definitely try to work in all those different portals on your errands.
Mm-hmm. For that Sojourner.
Oh, that's good. And do you have a lot of missions over there?
Pardon me?
Missions.
At the moment, we've got... I've got to check all this. We've got about 11 missions. I want to get 25, so that way everyone can get their silver at least, and then they got to go somewhere else. But that's just a rough estimate of missions.
Oh goodness! Wow. Okay. Fun. All right. So, is the shard thing a mission? How many of those have you actually seen pass through your backyard?
Shards. I don't even know where to begin. We've had... I know during 13 Magnus we had... Wait, was it 13 Magnus? Yes, 13 Magnus we had 2. Shonen we had the same one 3 times. Haven't had any of the Lightman Shards yet. Please don't send them here. Please don't send them here.
They're going there, man.
Or one of the last ones.
But I'm trying to find every mission I can to send. We had one person from the States submit a mission to hack all 64 churches in Bermuda. Took about a week and a half.
Oh God, yeah, that's it does disrupt a life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Tyler, what shard story would you be willing to tell us about? A favorite shard story.
Are there any?
Okay. Well, I'm at one end of the island, and the rest of our agents are at the other end. And it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get a text message. I just so happen to be awake, and it's like, "Hey, we need you all the way down the other end of the island. It's 3 a.m., but we need you." We get down there, and they miss the throw.
Oh.
But so then I stayed there, and hey, stop taking pictures.
Yeah. You haven't turned on the app, so.
Whatever. But yeah, so 3 o'clock in the morning down at the other end of the island. So we have to wait there for another hour. Finally, they throw the shard arrives, and we get rid of it the next hour. I come back here, gotta wake up in 3 hours to go to work, and that's where learning how to function off of just a few hours of sleep basically comes from.
Got it. Do you mind sharing what kind of work you do? Or industry?
At the moment, I'm a computer technician, but I have a degree in culinary arts. It's 2 separate worlds, but both I love to do.
Wow.
I think both would be very useful there and anywhere. So.
Mm-hmm. Lots of seafood.
Yes, yes. All right. All right, so we have some viewer questions. And let's see. Carol Fung wants to ask, although you mentioned Toronto, but I think you said that you didn't actually, you visited before you played Ingress, but of the places you visited in Toronto, which area was your favorite?
Which area was my, probably downtown Toronto. Met up with a whole bunch of people there. We were called, someone posted a picture and said the Toronto Biker Gang, because there were just like 20 of us just walking through the streets all dressed the same. I actually see your question. But yeah, downtown Toronto was basically, it had a lot of fun with them, a lot of drinking. Was a blast.
Great. And speaking of travel, Adam Gilmore would like to ask, when you do travel, what is one favorite thing you love to share with other agents that comes from Bermuda? Like drinks or, well, with your culinary degree, is there?
Yeah, when I was actually there, I actually took, in Bermuda, our 2 local things that are a hit are Bermuda Rum Swizzle and Bermuda Rum Cake.
Oh.
Those,
really?
They sound really good, and it's like, yeah, I can handle it. 1 glass of swizzle, and you're done, because it's just that strong. But it was, yeah, so rum cake and rum swizzle. I wish I actually had some, but I ran out.
Sounds yummy.
It does sound really good. While we're on that topic, so what are some Bermudan I mean, is there more local or even indigenous cuisine there?
We like to think that there is a Bermuda cuisine, but we have so many people from different locations from all over. Like from Jamaica, we have Jamaican food, we've got Indian food. We're just an eclectic bunch. Some people's like, this is Bermudian, but if you go anywhere else, it's not. We might have one or two things. I can't think of them at the moment, but other than that, no, not really much Bermudian indigenous food.
Okay. All right. Well, and then another question from Adam Gilmore. What was the most exciting meetup you've had with other Ingress agents?
That would actually have to be Toronto, because there was a whole bunch of people from Australia, people from all over Canada, Florida, Texas. Probably gonna butcher a lot of these. I can't remember where they all were all from. Actually, I've got patches from everywhere, but it would definitely have to be Toronto. A lot of shenanigans happened, and it was a lot of fun.
All right.
Neat. Well, if you're not a stranger to Behind the Scanner, then you know that we have a certain tradition around here. For better or worse, we give each guest about 60 seconds to talk about whatever they want. They can give a shout out to whomever they want. So, Tyler, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. I would like to give a shout out to my Toronto biker gang, as we're called. My local agents for putting up with me and my need to just, and every other resistant agent for my need just at the random long lengths. If I got a key to the States or somewhere, I'm probably going to throw it just because it's taking up inventory space, and why not use it. Two of our local Enlightened agents who are actually the people that talk to us, Florinator and Blue Longtail, and Berks County Resistance for being hospitable to me, and for the hosts of Behind the Scanner for having me on today.
Aww. That's sweet. Well, thank you, Tyler, for being with us tonight. It was really nice to meet you, and hopefully sometime you'll be able to cook for all of us.
Yes, I think some rum swizzle and rum cake is in order.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Tyler.
You're welcome.
All right, so before we get to our second guest, it's time for the Weekly Truth. And this week we have Jose Antonio Rey joining us from Lima, Peru, to catch us on what is going on in the Ingress storyline. So please welcome Operator Essex Investigator Jose Antonio R. to the show.
Well, hello everyone. I'm glad to be back again with you. This time we have no special guest. Well, you have me. So
very special.
let's get to what's been going on with the Niantic storyline in this past week. There has been a special event, we may say, that happened in Washington, D.C. This past week before the anomalies. Let's get to that first. And so Hank Johnson had a package given to him from Susanna Moyer's father, Nigel Moyer. Hank gave the letter to a trusted friend and then asked agents to meet this person to receive the package, thinking that there would be safety in numbers. This has a long story, because Nigel gave this package to Hank a good while ago. However, Hank did not know if it was okay to share the package with Susanna or not. So he asked on Google Plus, and agents basically told him that it would be a good idea to share this package with Susanna. Now, to prove that the agents were trustworthy, a Hank Johnson mission went live at 15 EDT in Arlington, Virginia, where DARPA is headquartered. DARPA is a place that Nigel Moyer worked at in the past. And whoever completed the mission was supposed to meet a contact to receive this special package that was supposed to go to Susanna's hands. Agent Lexi Lu Wu, aided by friends, was the first to complete the mission. And by about 15:30 EDT, almost everyone who was attempting the mission had completed it and was waiting at the designated location, which was a block away from the DARPA headquarters, for the contact. A man walked past, sat down on a bench, and then put a red baseball cap, which was the signal revealed in the mission, and agents attempted to talk to him. They had to provide a password to gain his trust, and this password was provided in the mission, so they were basically all set up to get the package, but somehow 2 Arlington, Virginia police officers pulled up with guns drawn and arrested 2 alleged shoplifter from the mall that was adjacent to the park and who tried to blend in with the group of agents. Whenever these secret DARPA agent saw the handcuffs, he just ran away and blended into the crowd. However, at 16:05 EDT, our own Andrew Krug, who is not joining us this week, he was part of the group that completed this mission and allegedly received a call from an unknown number. The first time he ignored it, but at the second time he answered it, and there was a voice saying to come alone to the entrance at the mall at Wilson and Randolph Street. Andrew went to the designated location, and he received the package from the contact and returned to the group, who apparently did not notice that Andrew was gone. The group of cross-faction agents voted to open the package just to make sure that the truth would be revealed in the event that Susanna would not share the contents of the package. And just to assure transparency that the truth could still get out, the content of the package was actually a letter and some message that were shared on the Niantic Project Google Plus page. You can go to the Niantic Project Google Plus page and check those 2 documents that are both a message, a letter, and some glyph symbols. They apparently are 2 unknown glyphs in there. And then Alexi, as she was the first agent to complete the mission, she went ahead and transferred the package to Susanna. We hope that Susanna finds this package useful. Now, we've had 2 anomalies in this past weekend. We've had Persepolis 1 and 2. Persepolis 1 was controlled by the Resistance, and Persepolis 2 was controlled by the Enlightened. However, the output of these anomalies are gonna change the output of this story. But since they are tied right now, we're not too sure what may happen. Jahan is trying to get into Persepolis as Hank Johnson is. We don't know how this is going to end, so we're just going to have to wait and see what's going on with Persepolis 3, 4, and 5, which are coming up on June 20th, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but June 20th, we're going to have three more anomalies. Make sure you go there and let's see what happens, who controls the anomalies, and how this affects our storyline, what's been happening. So I guess that's all that's been going on for the past intense week in the Niantic storyline.
Well, I mean, something to add. It was very disappointing that Hank Johnson was trying to be around, but, you know, he didn't show up at the anomaly, and I wanted to assure him that we would have protected him. So we're disappointed when we get to see you in D.C., but, you know, think about coming back.
You would have given him a big hug.
Something. All right, on that note, Jorge, you got some rewards for us?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was having some troubles with the code. So, but now it's time for the code. Mine is not that fancy as Andrew's, but there it is. So,
all right.
This is shareable but limited redeem codes, meaning they may be good for 20 or 500 redemptions. We have no idea, so copy. And
My alerts to come up.
Oh.
Go.
Go. Get it. Like Vanna White over there.
Well, and that's it. Kelly, it's your turn.
That's it. Okay. Wow. Well, this next segment, you might be familiar with it. It is time for Inside the Scanner with Fev Games. And each week, Fev Games sends a representative on to talk about scanner updates and any other game mechanics changes. And this week, I'm really excited because It is a dear friend of mine. It is Mr. Fev of Fev Games. Welcome to the show.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. So we have a new APK that came our way. It was 1.78.0, and this one was definitely exciting. We got a new item coming around the corner. However, what this item exactly does, we're not sure. I was playing with this while I was waiting on hold. So I should be sharing my screen right now. That right there is the MUFG capsule right there. And as you guys can see right here, it has a few names for it. We have the interest capsule and the MUFG capsule, as I just said. The description is an interest-bearing capsule is a storage container that holds other objects and pays interest. Now, what the heck that means and what it means mechanically for us is completely unknown. It's not something that we've been able to figure out. There's not enough there yet to really determine, but it looks like, I mean, it's a skim capsule as we saw kind of with the AXA, except this is representing a Japanese banking firm instead of an insurance company. But if we want to guess based on the name and based on the description, I'd speculate, maybe I put 108 boosters in there, and every week maybe it spits out, I don't know, 15%, so maybe I get 15 boosters in my pocket. I don't know. I mean, that could be, it could be a lot of different things. It'd be cool to think, hey, if I put X amount of this in here, I'm getting such and such percent, kind of like you would from a bank. Next thing we got going on is what we're guessing is metal reorganization. And like I said, this is more speculation. I'm going to give you guys my screen again here. Alright, so this is a screenshot from our latest APK teardown. And as you guys can see, there's little orange brackets around some of these metals. And you can obtain this by holding on a metal and then tapping another one. And other than highlighting orange, it doesn't do anything. Also to note, we haven't been able to replicate it on all phones yet. It happens on some of them. It happens on other ones. It doesn't for whatever reason. This was in the last APK as well, and we missed it, and we apologize for that. However, we still have no idea what it does. You can select some badges, give it a border, but it really doesn't do much for you. Like I said, our guess or speculation is since we saw that they reorganized the top row of metals recently, they actually flip-flopped it. But all our anomaly metals are at the very top, and we have this ability to select other metals now, and maybe we can rearrange them to our preference, maybe not. Who knows? It's all speculation at this point. Other things that updated in the APK. And by the way, Connor did the APK. He's stellar at it. I'm just taking the information that he provided. He's the real rock star, so everyone give a hand to Connor. Moving on. So we saw in our recent APKs, we were able to change our languages. There were more added. We were having trouble with some of the people having it saved and whatnot. That has been resolved in this newer APK. So if you change your language, it'll stay as your default. So I'm sure that'll make some people happy. There was a very tiny bit on Android wearables. It sounds like there's nothing's coming out soon, so don't get too excited, but they did change the version number. They changed it from 1.0 to 1.78.0, which is the version this APK is. And we're not sure if that means that they're getting ready to apply it to current versions and we're ready to roll out wide scale on this Android Wear deal, but still something that's looks like they're working on. Other than that, the new item is the biggest deal on this. Other than that, we got bug fixes, and all the other good stuff. But that's it for this week, guys.
Well, I really, really hope that new capsule, it's going to be a really functional capsule. Yeah, something that make it useful.
Definitely, definitely. You know, we've been harping for new items, you know, since new levels, and it's cool. I really like watching their method of advertising. I mean, it's cool to see a shield that protects for insurance. We got a capsule that does something with insurance for a banking firm. It's a really new level of advertising. So, I mean, obviously it's Google on their new level with things like Ingress and whatnot, and things like this just further my excitement and being involved, you know, with all this going on. It's really exciting to watch it develop.
Are we going to have power cubes?
What's that?
Are we going to have power cubes?
Oh, you know what? It's not out of the realm of impossibility, and it could very well happen. And you know what? I'll be the first in line to line up for a Powerade Power Cube. So, Niantic's listening. You guys better make that connection.
Well, thank you, Leonis. It's a pleasure to have you here. And well, somebody else have something to say about this new capsule?
No. I'm ready for more. I want the superpowers.
I wonder if it's going to be like when capsules first came out, you were like, oh, can you drop it? I need that capsule back. I wonder if we'll all do that for like maybe the first week or two, and then, you know, after that it'll be like, do you want this capsule back? And, no, I don't want that capsule back. No.
You know, one thing that worries me on this is I hope that they do enough testing and we don't end up with another capsule dupe fiasco. You know, if we're getting interest for items and new items are appearing in your inventory due to a mechanic with this item, I really, really hope that they do their diligence to do the testing right and we don't have dupes anymore, because that was a pretty big fiasco when capsules first came out. So, crossing my fingers.
Well, thank you, man. And now we are going to welcome our second guest. His name is James Pyle, aka Greenlight. He's from Temple City, California.
Shout out.
Hello, man.
And you are muted.
Hello.
Yay.
There you are.
Nice to have you on the show. So, James, you let us know before that you enjoy your work about as much as you enjoy playing Ingress. So, I'm really curious, what kind of work do you do?
Well, I'm a service technician as an electrician, so I get to drive around quite a bit to a lot of different areas, and it always kind of went hand in hand with Ingress and finding uniques and kind of checking out new places, and along the development of this game as well as field trips. A good way to see these new places that you hadn't been before, kind of make it a little more interesting. And I had gone so long and seen so many places where I didn't explore, and this has been really cool to kind of use that as a tool in a fun way, and then suddenly you get to meet people too, and an opponent out of nowhere to battle with. So it's really a great adventure. As far as my work, being an electrician has always been really interesting. Part of this game, with all the technology that goes along with it, is really interesting as it evolves into more and more people now into satellite devices, and part of that in everything that I do is just really exciting to see it all grow together, and the technology that we have now. I'm so into mobile devices. The newest laptop I have has Windows XP. I won't, upgrade the old stuff. I want the new stuff. So that's why my little avatar doesn't work there. I don't think it works with something so old that I have. But it's a lot of fun to be out and about and get all over the place and see these new places, especially with something like that to kind of show you the hidden gems.
Definitely. Well, you enjoy your work and your play of Ingress, but I know you like something else too. Can you tell us about the lessons that you're taking these days?
I've actually started to take flying lessons, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to pay for a flight lesson and get to go somewhere for Ingress. You can, rent a couple hours or whatever, and at the same time, hey, why not learn a new skill? Everybody's always wanting to get somewhere where it's not so easy to go on a plane, so it kind of goes hand in hand as well. It's surprising the new ventures you might take on with a new kind of game like this. It's a lot of fun to see.
Okay, so you live in Temple City. It sounds to me like the perfect city for enlightenment. So
That's very lucky to have quite a crowd of enlightened from the beginning, and it was one of those kind of things where, it doesn't matter how the balance are anywhere. If you kind of pick a spot in the middle for everybody to meet up, suddenly there's a stronghold. And even when the enemy wants to take it back, you can go back and forth, and then it becomes a battle of wills, and how many people want that area, and how many people are willing to get together there. And sometimes we had trouble, so we would bring donuts and do a donut meet and greet, and we'd get a lot more people that way. And it's been a lot of fun, again, to get all these people together for these kind of things. We've met so many people in our area, including agents from both sides. We're involved in a cross-faction event now based on a local guy that needs a new wheelchair, and it's called Wheels to the Max. It's a very successful fundraiser that's been going for about 2 years now, that a lot of people have worked really hard on for a really great guy, so I'm happy to be part of that because of this game. There's just so many positive things that come out of it. If you have the right attitude and you put the right thing into it, I think you get a heck of a lot back out of it.
So,
well, go ahead.
sorry. So I was going to ask you that you recruit a lot of people, but now I know your secret, man, donuts.
Donuts, that's right.
I never thought about that. I'm gonna try to apply it.
It's a good tool. We started with coffee and donuts, and we worked our way up to full-on barbecue.
Oh, I'll do the barbecue. Right, so with that, I mean, any members that of any of your recruits that you happen to know before?
One day you'll get another light.
Well, listen, Andrew was singing your praises about you and the Southern California Enlightened for hosting Shown in Pasadena. And yeah, I mean, he wanted to say how amazing a time it was, and for letting the DC folks pick your brains. But anyway, so because of that stinging endorsement if you need to adopt an orphan Asian child. I'm going back home to California. I'm a Northern California gal, but you know, you guys still have out burgers, so that's fine. I can do Southern. All right. Anyway, speaking of family, you're a man that, I mean, obviously loves his family so much, and you know, even though you guys can all play Ingress, you know, it's pretty apparent that it comes before everything. So, you know, you mentioned about a lot of them playing Ingress. Are there other family members that you're trying to recruit now, or do you have other family nearby, or that need to travel over?
Actually together and build a level 8 portal together. So that's kind of more the hard part. How many, you know, in the family that are local that we could actually get together. But it sure is fun to try and to tell everybody else in the family about it. I always tell anybody I run into that it's a great time for your family. A local agent that fought against us, Shotgun Willie, he works real hard to battle against 7 of us. And I said, hey, get your son playing. It's going to help out a lot, and you're going to have a good time with him. Sometimes when, you know, kids at all the different ages, you know, they may think you're not want to hang out as much when they hit teenage years, but there's a good stretch that they'll join you. So he did that, and his son started playing with him, and boy, they tear our town up now. So it's fun to see.
Well, it's always fun to see you and your family whenever I'm visiting California. And of course, one of my favorite Californians, my good friend Joe Philly. I heard that you have the first Joe Philly autograph. Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, we.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what happened? Oh, no. Oh, no.
We don't have
Oh, no. That was Joe Philly.
You know
That
what? Every time we involve any Niantic people, we get like all the crazy stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to stop talking about them.
Not invoke the N name. The N word.
Portal monkeys.
Oh, no. Come on.
Oh, I think his video is coming back.
All right. Oh. James, you there?
Yeah, I'm
Can you hear
here.
us? All right.
Great.
Yeah, we lost you.
So, you were talking about that guy from that black...
that guy that shall not be named.
You must not be named.
Yeah.
The autograph that shall not be
That it was going to be a great game, and that these people were going to, the people behind it were going to be just, you know, amazing. And I thought that they were, I saw them coming out to these events, and it was a cross-faction meet and greet at Father's office in Santa Monica, and we just raced after work out there to get there and try to make the last minute. We didn't know anybody, but we showed up just with big smiles and really excited to see what it was all about. And we had just been recruited by this guy in an Ask Me Anything thread on Thomas Grinnis's book that had just come out on G+. So I recognized the name, and it was the name, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's that guy sitting right there, you know? Hey, let me ask him for his autograph. And he kind of stared at me and said, well, why? And I go, man, you just wait. This is going to be the coolest thing ever. And ever since then, he's been a great friend. They're a great crowd, and you know, it's such a group of people that work so hard to give so much to everybody with this. It's been a real pleasure to meet them, and I love telling that story. That you know, even though I thought I was a little bit crazy, it was definitely worth it. Now I can say I have the first one ever.
I have a doubt. Joe Philly give you an autograph. Does the autograph has a smiley face on it?
So it was a barely scribbled he didn't know if he should do it, how he should do it. He said, should I write something? I said, just scribble it like you're the most important person in the world. And he did that, and I put a little piece of Scotch tape over it so it didn't ever smear, and I still have it to this day.
Cool. Well, doing a little pause for everyone watching. Remember, you can submit questions for our guests. If you are watching this on YouTube, you have to click on the button at the bottom of the video that says "Be part of the conversation." Then you have to click on the square grid menu icon in the upper right. Well, I don't know. You're right, and select Q&A, and that's it. So James, you are an expert recruiter, and for that reason you have a lot of Padawans. How many agents have you brought up, and which is the level they reach before you let them fly free?
Well, I like to let people kind of do their own thing and just play how they want to play. I always say, hey, you can even call me on the phone and I'll walk you through a process. But part of the adventure, I think, is to kind of find your own style. I always would take people out and say, hey, let's go play for a little bit. But it's really interesting to see each person develop in their own way. Some people like to do team events more than be the solo agent. I usually kind of just let people do their own thing. I like to think of myself as more of the idea salesman. I got to put that idea into their head. Like, have you heard about this game? You've got to check this game out. And it'll get you out of the house, and it'll get you some exercise, and you're going to meet people. And I'm telling you, yeah, you tell them Greenlight sent you. And from that, we've got a lot of good people that have started and enjoyed the game and taken to asking their friends to play. And that's, I think, the magic of this, is that you can get a lot of people involved. And even if, you kind of burn out for little bits of time, there's the other people there to pick up the slack and work with you. Then all of a sudden you have these huge communities that are doing these amazing operations. And then even better, when both teams work together. It's quite an experiment that they've created here.
Definitely.
Cool.
There's another part of the game that you said you enjoy as well, and so discovering new portals as well as new agents. What color is your Seer badge?
I have Gold Seer at just under 270 submissions accepted. And I remember in the very beginning thinking, hey, you can put this part in the game and it'll never go away and your name will be on it. This is really cool. And again, it gets you to look around and experience things, or look in the little nook and crannies for, hey, is there a fountain in there? Or, hey, if I just walk back here a little further, hey, there's a mural back here. Right in my own backyard, stuff that I've never seen and never would have thought to go see. And part of that experience of exploring was something real special. And each one of those acceptances is, one point towards that badge was just, wow, hey, that's so much exploring I've done and so much of the world around me that I have gone out and seen. So I've taken a lot of pride in that badge. That's my favorite one.
It's I gotta say, like, it's not many others, and so for you to accomplish as many as you have is that is a huge, mad props.
Well, thank you very much. And I said early on, I think that's going to be the badge that's going to get harder and harder to get. So start early.
So in our pre-interview questionnaire, you described yourself as friendly and outgoing, which I can attest from my visits to California. So it said also that you really enjoy cross-faction events. So tell me, which is your most memorable interaction with it says on here the Smurfs, but we're all friends here. So with the opposing faction.
It's not an insult,
It always sounds like an insult.
So is Carmen.
As much as frogs.
Well, I think we recently had a cross-faction donut and barbecue meet and greet that was a fundraiser for our Wheels to the Max organization. And we had a lot of people come out and have a blast. We raised a lot of money for his cause, and a lot of people that hadn't gotten a chance to come out and experience the greets, the meet and greets, the the group get-togethers like that weren't necessarily operations, but rather the phone is kind of down for a minute, and you're getting to know everybody around you, and that's when I think it's a lot of fun. You get there's always that night you can go out and blast all night on your own, but those are rare times when you get to get together in groups of people. Your very enemies that you've fought every day and night for months, finally you come face to face with, and you get to say hi and say, you remember that one time I was right behind that tree? And all these fun things that come out, and everybody laughs, and when the right attitude goes into it, that's, I think, even more fun. You get to see both sides of it, and hopefully pry a couple secrets out, and, you know.
Well, cross-faction events are always fun, but there are occasions when blues and greens are not so friendly with each other. Which is your best anomaly you participated in?
Well, we had the Pasadena Anomaly was amazing. My sister was put as the point of contact and worked so hard to pull everything together and got so many people to help out. I was so proud of her. Her name is Booger Light Wendy Pyle. She's an amazing player, an example to the community. She worked so hard with all the leveling players and all the long-term players, and is so much more involved in the game than even I am these days. That was my favorite event because I got to sit back a little bit and not do so much and not have a bunch to worry about, and really enjoy the event on a kind of average player level. And she made that possible, and so did everybody in the San Gabriel Valley team and the Pasadena team. There's, when your team steps up for you, amazing things are possible, and I think that was a good event where we did some really cool things outside of the game, like rent a giant hotel together and get everybody on the same page with a place to meet up and on a grand scale. And it was really cool to see everybody take it to the next level and create an event outside of the anomaly that was just amazing.
That was truly an amazing anomaly. It was a lot of fun. The swag was amazing, too.
Yeah. Everybody that got involved, we had people that created the logos, and then everybody voted on one, and then somebody made them all into patches and stickers, and my mom decorated the hotel, and all these people just get a job and go with it, and it really came out. We had a fantastic time. One for the books.
I'm bummed I missed it.
Next time.
Yes, absolutely. Now, before we go into viewer questions, you've mentioned a couple of times about Wheels to the Max, and something that was really nice was there was someone who was also fundraising during the anomaly here in DC this past weekend and bringing a little bit of awareness. But for those who didn't get to talk so much with her, and for those viewers who may just be hearing about it for the first time, can you tell us some more and how, or at least where we can find some more information and maybe even donate?
Absolutely. We have a site set up that's wheelstothemax.org, and that's an amazing store even with several really cool swag items. Custom Gimster agent card available for only $5. There's a Wheels to the Max cross-faction Gimster patch. There are several really cool items that you just got to check out, and there's the option to just go ahead and donate. This guy is one of the friendliest guys I've ever met. Now, I battled with this guy on the field for a long time and got really frustrated and said, who is this guy's taking my portals all the time? And one day I met him, and I saw he was in a wheelchair. And I says, wow, I don't have to do half the work that you do to take those portals. What's your story? And we got to talking, and he's a great guy with a lot of responsibility and a lot of chores in his life. And one thing that hindered him was having kind of an old, average, run-of-the-mill wheelchair, and we thought, hey, you know what, would not just help you play the game, but really help your life out. We could probably do this for you, and I couldn't even imagine how well everybody stepped up and did all the footwork to make this store and create this whole organization. Socrates is one of our local agents, is Resistance. His name is, he changed his name. It used to be Ghetto BSD. Now it's Blue Dalek BSD. I want to throw a shout out to him. He's worked so hard on this fundraiser. He puts in a lot of time in actually piecing everything together, mailing it out. He's a great guy. So I just want to say thank you for that. You got to check it out. It's wheelstothemax.org. it's a really good cause and a really good guy.
Great. And how close are you to your goal?
The last time I checked, I mean, it blew my mind, but I guess DC really knocked it out of the park. And apparently they brought it to, I think, 60 to 70% of the goal. The goal, I think, is for roughly $9,000 for a totally cool custom wheelchair that's got like a major warranty policy on it, and it's actually something that's very necessary for his medical condition, like totally custom made for what he has. So that's why it was so expensive, and all the maintenance that goes with it and adjustments. So we're really excited to see him get to that goal. We've pushed for, I think it's going on about 1.5 to 2 years now, and it's really exploded. I couldn't believe that we had somebody representing us up in DC. It's just been amazing. I mean, to see this blossom and grow like this game has, it's exploded, and to know there's that many people out there willing to help, willing to put a little out there, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, shout out to Nadia, also known as Catwoman, for doing that. And great. And yeah, Jorge was putting it up on his screen. I don't know if it was shown, if it was shared, but yeah, they're about 61% so far.
Awesome.
A little bit of a ways to go still, and yeah, that's wheelstothemax.org.
Thank you very much. It's very cool. There's even we've gotten a couple items donated by Cheerio at one point, donated an Ingress battery pack that we were able to raffle off. We had the name donate some items that we were able to raffle at our barbecue that were amazing hit items. I believe one of them was a big set of the agent trading cards. So we've had so many people donate stuff and pitch in that it's just amazing. And we really hope to keep pushing. We're going to get him there. He's quite the cat.
Right on. All right, so ready for some viewer questions?
Sure.
Okay. Adam Gilmore, big question person. I think you're filling in for Joe Thoreau since he's not here tonight, right? Anyway, he'd like to know, what's been your favorite Ingress event that you've attended or that you've been to, or I'm sorry, been a part of so far?
Well, it's a hard topper to beat either the Pasadena one or the little cross-faction barbecue that we just had, because they were both big hits. But I remember one fun operation that we had where we had this monumentous operation where we were going to send a link right through Los Angeles, right through the heart of it, through everything. And part of that was our city, 3 cities actually, that were linked up like crazy. And we thought, there's no way we can go around and 8 of 500 green portals in time. It's not going to happen. And I thought, well, maybe I can use the enemy to my advantage. We had a lot of blue around us and very anxious to take stuff down, so I put a post on the local cross-faction board saying, you kind of look how out of control we are. Nobody can stop us. Our place is indestructible. And I'll tell you, within half an hour, the whole town was leveled. So we were able to make room for that link pretty easy that day. And I remember thinking, that's another really cool part of the game when you get really creative and use other elements to kind of make things happen. It's very much chess-like. Very cool strategy.
And Adam Gilmore, once again, especially given what sounds like just really wonderfully cooperative and friendly cross-faction relations, but he'd like to know, and I'd like to know too, do you even have a nemesis?
Our nemesis is local, and he's a best friend, and he's actually my cell phone provider. So it's hard to stay mad at people. I mean, even over your finest portal. We're all playing the same game. We're all going for the same goal, and even when we are a little bratty doing it, we have a lot in common, and it's fun to try to remember that. And sometimes there are times when people don't get along or don't have the best. Everybody has a bad day, and I like to try to think of it like, hey, that person's just having a bad day. I'm sure I've had bad days or been grumpy when somebody took down my portal, and I just hope that they think that way too. Hey, he's just having a bad day.
Are those all our questions? All right. Well, before we get wrapped up, of course, we love doing our little tradition around here. So, James, it's your turn to talk for 60 seconds about anything you want. Shout-outs. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start.
Well, I'll just take that time to thank everybody that makes the game and works so hard on it. I know they get a lot of feedback, and I hope that more of it's positive because everybody worked real hard on it, and I think they put their heart and soul into it. And when you go around to all these events and do all these things, it's got to become a part of your life. And I really thank them for coming up with this, for putting so much into it. John Hankey for being a visionary and coming up with such an idea, for getting us so involved and talking to each other about video games when we didn't even come face to face before. This is a really cool idea, and I'd like to thank you guys for having me on. That's a very cool show, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And thank my family for joining me on this little adventure. My wife, White Light, my daughter, Aura Light, my son, Rave Light, my mom, Nana Light, and my sister, Booger Light, and her husband, 1911 Light, the whole Light Squad, and our local team, everybody that plays with us and against us. You make the game what it is, and it's such an honor to be a part of, and I thank you.
Wow, very inspirational.
Very, very great words. Well, James, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing you at the next Anomaly in California.
We'll see you in the field.
Cool.
Thank you, James. Thank you, everyone, for watching the show. We'll be waiting for you next Thursday.
Yep, happy hacking.
Good night, everyone.
See you out there.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
We have credits. Oh yeah, we have credits.
All right, good.
Oh.
So something I was refraining from asking Tyler, but I gotta know, what is your UPV?
My UPV, I know I have a gold in it. My UPV is 2674.
What is it?
2674.
Oh, that's pretty good. You're up there, dude. That's good.
Yeah, still getting there.
Man, Island, dude, man. I mean, you can be racing for Onyx soon.
I gotta find somewhere else to go that has a lot of density. The places I've been are just, they're running out of things to offer me.